Okay, I'm going to share something with you here. First, let me say, and I've said this before, but I just do this to be transparent. I do not agree with the lockdown. I think it should, especially now, looking back, it should be regional and it should be age specific. I think if we just taken the age group that was at most risk and focused our efforts on them, let everyone else go back to work, salvage some of the economy. Meanwhile, they'll build their herd immunity. Yeah, there might be some losses, but I don't think it would. I think it would be minimal. There's a lot of healthy people that we believe have this that aren't going. Nothing's going to happen to them. They might be asymptomatic or whatever the case is, but they're there's a risk now because so many people are not being exposed to it. Healthy people that would have survived it easily, let's say, they're not going to have the antibodies build up, and therefore there will be a second wave coming in the fall or something like that. Herd immunity. But that's my opinion. Anyhow, regional, age specific. Here, where I'm at, I'm real sympathetic to the people that you see these videos of people that are in lockdown. Staying home or limiting the exposure and all this. And I'm not in that position. Especially with what I do. I'm out all the time. I have to go to town all the time. I take food to my family, this kind of thing. Anyhow, but people that are in, like, so maybe the community is real serious about it. They're more under more severe restrictions. I'm sympathetic to that. I realize that's got to be extremely difficult. Plus, make you a little bit crazy. Out here, you see these. That's a different video, though. A lot of these celebrities telling you to stay home and because we're all in this together. Unless, of course, you could go a year or two without an income, then it might be that you can say you're in this together. Where I'm at here in Central California, just to share this, there's not a whole lot of lockdown going on. There's businesses closed. There's people unemployed. There are some people that are staying home that are maybe doing like a lot of these people in these videos are doing. But the masses are out and about. The weather's beautiful. They just don't have a lot to do. I think a lot of them now are starting to get the effect that maybe they're not getting paid anymore, so they're going to have to limit what they're doing. But people are out and about. They had to close parks because they're afraid too many people are going to the park tomorrow. Tomorrow being Easter. They say, wait a minute, don't you guys have we have the soft lockdown or whatever the case is. Yeah, but there's no leadership behind this thing. Like I said, I'm not for the lockdown. But the entities that are promoting the lockdown are not enforcing it. So it's been pawned off as a suggestion. And every 25-year-old, 35-year-old, 30-year-old kid, guy, they don't think they're going to get this. They think they're bulletproof, and probably are. They're out and about. Okay, so there's people everywhere. You try to go to Lowe's or Home Depot, you can't park. You see these pictures of these cities where it's just vacant. Not here. Because now, what's the guy doing at Lowe's? Honeydews. They're going to work on the porch, fix the window, whatever they got. You got to wait in line. And now it's slower because they got everyone paced out, which I get that. All part of that distancing and everything. But we're not in lockdown here. Now, maybe down in LA, because it's an urban area, people stacked on top of each other. They have a lot of different cultures there, a lot of people that come from that country that have that effect, carrying that virus with them. Same thing with the Bay, San Francisco. I mean, they're stacked on top of each other. It's about the dirtiest place you've ever been. They're having their issues. But we aren't. We have this. This is why I had to bring this thing up. Fresno County. I'm in Fresno County here. Let me see here. Population as of July of 2019, 999,101. We got 1 million people here. That's not counting those that are just passing through without papers. That's probably another 500 grand easy. So there's a lot of people here, especially over the past 15, 20 years. The place is just filled up. So there's 1 million people here, and as of 3 hours ago, according to what I pulled off of Google here, might be, As of 3 hours ago, 201 cases, 5 deaths. Okay? So if you take 1 million people and figure out how many might know someone that knows someone that knew one of these 5 dead, it's going to be pretty difficult to find that many people. Okay, so what I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to diminish this. It's not tangible here. Yeah, there could be zillions of infected people here, whatever the case is. But if you were in New York, I don't think you'd have any problem. Okay, folks, curfew. Okay, quarantine. Hey, this whole sections of this is all. I don't think you'd have any problem with people following that. Geez, they're dropping left and right. You know, for New York's a big place with lots of people stacked, elevators and all these subways and all that. My mom said you can't cross the street without touching 15, 20 people. It's just so jam-packed. But there, it's tangible. You're being told they're dying left and right. Whereas here, it's just it's a boogeyman. I said, not trying to diminish it, but I mean, we're just now starting to see people wearing masks. If I go to a grocery store, I wear a mask. If I'm at work, yes, I'm still working. I want to make a video on that later. At work, I wear a mask because it puts other people at ease. Okay, I think grocery stores are dirty anyways. I actually wear it there for my own safety, but it also puts everyone else around you that's wearing a mask at ease. But it's here. This is going to sound terrible. There's not enough death to create the attitude which brings the behavior of people saying, you know, we're just going to stay home. That might sound brutal. I'm just being honest, trying to give you a better picture here. There's not enough death in this thing here that's got people spooked. Yeah, some of the old folks are staying home. Many aren't. Many are out. I mean, you see the old folks walking all the time, this and that. A lot of healthy old folks here. They're busting it. Nothing changed their life. And you ask them too. They have healthy attitudes, but they're not afraid of this thing. But once again, they probably don't know anyone that's dealt with this, or they've already dealt with enough death already. They're accustomed to it. So I said I'm sympathetic to the people that are locked up in their homes. It's just not like that here. There are some people that are doing it, but the masses here aren't. But the reason is, this isn't New York. We don't have the hundreds and hundreds dying every day. We've got 5. Okay, more people will be. I mean, if you just looked at overdoses and shootings, we'll bust that out in an afternoon. A lot of crime here. Okay, so it's not, you know, there's many other things here that's going to get you. Now, if tomorrow it went to 15, a couple days later 30, then 60, let me tell you something. The attitudes would change. Like I said, I don't agree with the lockdown, but all of a sudden there would be more zeal towards this idea. It would now be a suggestion that people are actually taking. Actually, you know, hey, we might start staying home because Aunt so-and-so died. What's his name? The neighbor, his kid died. This kind of thing. But we just don't have that here. Now, some people will say, well, it's because we locked down 2 days before New York did. I don't think that's the case, but maybe maybe we'll find out later. But it's something when I watch these videos of these people in these ghost towns. You know, everyone's at home. Everyone's left the cities. They're all, yeah. You know, I don't need a celebrity telling me that we're all in this together. You need to stay home like I'm staying home. And, you know, Schwarzenegger shows you his little midget donkeys and what all the food he has in his fridge. That's his fridge. That's not feeding anybody else. I understand the intent. It's a little coaching, a little cheerleading. Hey, we're all in this together. No, we're not. I know a lot of people have no food in their pantry. They're not preppers. They, you know, live day to day, or whatever the case is, wage earners. You know, they live out on what they make that week. Those people are in dire straits. Okay, and they're not in the same position as Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, and Arnold Schwarzenegger never offered to pay their rent. Now, if he did, then I could say, okay, yeah, you guys are in this together. You're a real brother there. But that's not happening. I don't need the coaching. I don't need, you know, oh, you're all in this together. No, we're not in this together. Totally light years apart. But I understand their intent. But it's different here where I'm at in Central California. We got 1 million people here. There's not a whole lot of threat of this thing. Not yet. Could change tomorrow. Could change in a couple of days. This actually, I think this was supposed to be our week of death, where the was supposed to happen. I think we went from 3 to 5, something like that. But apparently, that's not a number that drives people into their home. Here's an important thing. Here's where I think if you're one who's thinking about, if you are supportive of the lockdown, here's one thing the people here don't understand. It wasn't about getting the business to close, which is a terrible thing. It wasn't about sending you home because the business is closed now. We have to send you home and just get you to stay there. It's about limiting your contact with fellow humans and limiting your contact with anything that fellow human has touched. Okay? Not sharing the air. All right? They haven't got that. They don't understand that's the principle behind, I would believe that's the principle behind the lockdown. I think we all agree on that. The people here don't understand that. I see people with masks on that are, if you look at, what are you wearing a mask for? Look what I mean, you guys are all over each other. They don't understand that part. I don't think that part is, if you understand, forget the lockdown. I don't care if you go to work. I don't care if you go home. Avoid contact. Avoid sharing the air. Avoid contact or touching something else someone else touched. If you have that, it's going to be a dance for you to move through the world avoiding contact. I'm sure it could be done. It's really going to slow you down. You have to be more tactical with your moves. But if you were just out trying to, okay, everybody, we must avoid contact. Here's some things that will help you. Gloves, masks, goggles, and all this kind of thing. We want you to avoid contact. If you think you can do that and go to work, okay, go to work. But you've got to avoid contact. You won't be sharing the air and all this kind of thing. I think that would have been a better message than just simply go home. Because they've not gone home. Or they've gone home, but they're bored. Now their friends come over. And now the friends are here, and so now they go to the park. And there's more contact going on now than had these people stayed at work and got something done. It's really, I think, where I'm at. Luckily, fortunately, whatever you want to look at it, as let's say there's 50%, 75% of the population here is out doing this all wrong, I have to think that there just isn't much of the virus here. Because the stuff I see every day, I still have to go to work, whether we have customers or not. And I still have, I buy groceries for people. I got to do the Lowe's thing, all this kind of, I'll see, this weekend I'll come in contact with 200 people. It's just what I have to do. But apparently there's not much of that virus here. If you look at all the stuff I'm seeing, we should have far more cases going on here. All right. But it's just not happening. So I just don't think it's that prevalent here. It's obviously it doesn't have enough, there's not enough death, I hate to say it, so it hasn't got anyone scared enough or concerned enough to make their behavior align themselves with someone who's going to avoid contact. I'm all over the board here. But I find it very interesting. I see people that are actually, I'm sure in another county over, actually I'm sure the further south of me, people are probably far more serious about that. The further north it goes, don't care. They flat don't care. Especially when you have the law enforcement comes out and says, we're not enforcing this. We don't have time for this. There's shots fired. I can't go mess around with that guy's taco stand open. So it's and then once again, there's not enough fear because there's not enough death to change people's behavior. I think that's what it would take. Anyhow, just an observation. Love you. God bless.